Incarnation just played and won his first ever LCS game. I am here with him for an interview that I think has been a long time coming. It's so great to sit down with you for your first interview after your first game here. Incarnation, what is it? What's it been like this journey into the LCS and finding out that you'd be allowed to play, and now joining C9? What has that whole adventure been like for you?
I mean, it was rough to begin with, like the whole journey thing, being banned and so on. But when I first found out I was getting unbanned, I was really happy. And if it wouldn't have happened this split, like for summer split, I would probably have quit. So it was good it happened, and I'm very grateful.
And so then you ended up on C9. How did that happen? Did you want to join an NA team, or were you just looking for a good team?
I talked to Jack before. So C9 was, I would say it was the best option for me. I had some other offers from EU as well, some good offers, but I personally felt like C9 was the best offer. So that's what I went for.
So many EU fans are so salty, saying NA keeps stealing our best mid laners. Was there any part of you that was like, oh, maybe I can stay in EU and show, like we still have good mid laners here?
I mean, I was considering EU, but I think C9 just got a better deal, so that's what I went for.
Just a good fit for you. Now let's talk about joining the team. Obviously, C9 had the longest standing roster competing competitively, and you were kind of like their first ever new player coming into the team. What has it been like for you adapting to them? It seems like from solo queue and streams, it seems like you're having a pretty good time, but what's it been like meshing with all the new personalities?
I mean, it's been fun. They're all really funny guys and cool guys, so I enjoy spending my time with them. So it's been pretty easy to adapt to being with them.
Any funny stories that you can tell, or that you're allowed to tell in an interview?
I can't think of any story right now. Maybe sometime later.
Soon, I'm sure. They're a crazy group of guys. Okay, so you just played a game against TSM. I like that Riot's like, no pressure. Your first game, we're going to pitch you against Bjergsen. You were a little bit behind in the beginning. It looks like a rough game for you. Where do you think you stand right now after that game, and maybe after the scrims and that kind of thing in the LCS?
I mean, it's hard to judge off of this game because it was actually the first time I played this matchup, but Cog was so good, and I had to blind pick mid regardless, so we just went for it. And I was very nervous to begin with. Like, I messed up like all the CS, so I felt pretty far behind. It was not that much that it was against Bjergsen, but Bjergsen is also obviously a good player. But I was just nervous because it's first time playing on stage, and I didn't really feel comfortable to begin with.
Yeah, what was that moment like of walking out and seeing all the audience and all that kind of thing?
It was nice. Like, it's nice to see we have fans. There was also people yelling my name, so that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Hopefully in a good way. Do you feel like you have to? Do you feel like there's any animosity from the fans or people that are like, oh, this guy maybe he should have stayed banned or anything like that? Do you feel like you have to prove yourself, or have you gotten like tweets like that, or has it mostly been supportive?
It's mostly been supportive, but there's also some people who wanted me to stay in EU and so on. But people have taken really good care of me, or how you say it, like people appreciate me, yeah. I guess. But yeah, I felt there was some pressure, a lot of pressure coming into this match. Yeah.
I mean, and let's talk about that. So many people, I've heard people compare you to Faker. You were kind of this legend that was, imprisoned or whatever, like if we could only get him out and he'd show everybody that he's like the Western Faker. How do you feel you compare against other mid laners in the world, and how much pressure do you feel having to deal with all the expectations?
I feel like I had a lot of pressure on me, like I said, to perform, but I wouldn't really take anything from this game. But I would say I would be around the top 3 in NA for sure. But I think I have a lot to improve on still. So I think the main goal is to be good for Worlds. So we'll see. But right now, I'd say around top 3 in NA.
I heard some people suggest that you know, there were a lot of like solo queue highlights from when you used to solo queue and all that kind of thing. And do you feel as though there were some people that were saying like, oh, you know, like he's not as good as he was back then, like he kind of stopped playing or he's dropped off a little bit from his prime? Is that a true statement, or do you think you're as good as you've ever been?
To an extent, because the reason, I mean, the fact that I took a break, other people kind of caught up to me. Like, I think the reason I was very hyped was because of season 3, where I just had a much easier time playing against other people, and it just, I don't think I was necessarily much better than I am now. It's just people improved, and I didn't improve because I had a break. But I think with time, I will become very good again.
And what do you think are C9's chances this split? I mean, you guys just beat TSM. What do you think are you guys possibly a top 1 team at the end of this?
By the end of the split, I would place us top 2. I'm not really sure. We beat TSM, which is a good thing, of course, but I'm not really sure. I would say top 2, yeah.
So still, it's best of 1 against TSM. Hard to predict. Incarnation, is there anything? I mean, you've made statements before and that kind of thing, but is there anything that you kind of want to say to your fans and to C9 fans or LCS fans? Because you know, I'm sure so many people have messaged you and said stuff to you.
I mean, thanks for all the support. Like, I really appreciate it, and especially all the Cloud9 fans. You've been really nice to me.
What are you gonna do now? Do you go back? Are you addicted to Chipotle yet?
Kind of. Like, we go for Chipotle a lot. Yeah, it's really good. Really good.
So maybe some Chipotle after this or something.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Incarnation, for the interview. Really good to get insight into sort of what's been going on with you. And congratulations on your first win, and welcome to the NALCS. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things LCS at gamespot.com/LOL.